Hello again, it's Chris here from Retire Wealthy, and today I want to look at how we define enough in our holistic retirement plan. So, what is enough? Is it enough to just get by when you retire? Enough to live comfortably? Or should enough be the means to allow us to live extravagantly? Enough to buy a big car, watches, and jewellery and show off to everybody how wealthy and asset rich we are? We're all different. That's why we have to go about redefining enough for ourselves. One size doesn't fit everybody. So, are we chasing a number or chasing a lifestyle? Let's take Jordan Henderson as an example. Now, I know he's not coming up for retiring yet, he's only in his 30s, but his story highlights what I'm talking about. Because Jordan Henderson is an English international footballer, and he made the decision in 2023 to take the huge money on offer to go play in Saudi Arabia. Now, his weekly wage is reputed to be in the region of £350,000, and his contract is for 3 years. Well, happy days. Even taking 350, which he might get a bit more than that, we don't really know. 350 times 52 times 3, that gives you a contract of £54 million. Now, it's pretty obscene, really, playing football in a country that's got some serious suspect human rights habits. It's not a top footballing nation. It's not got any real history, and it doesn't attract big crowds. And it's also pretty obscene when you consider that a nurse in the UK gets about £35,000 per year. She's going to have to work for 10 years to get paid what Jordan Henderson gets paid in a week. Doctors in the UK get paid £30,000 per annum for somebody newly qualified, up to £100,000 for a consultant. Train drivers, £65,000 a year. Members of Parliament, £86,000. And that's all before you start taking the fiddles and the other add-ons and all the rest of it. Now, would a contract of £54 million do for you? Or would you say, oh, no, I couldn't do that. No, not to go and play football in Saudi Arabia. Well, within 6 months of Jordan Henderson kicking his first ball in Saudi Arabia, he's negotiated himself out of his contract and he's coming back to Europe. Now, we don't have the big picture. We don't know the whole story. We only know things that just they didn't work out right. Perhaps he didn't like the sand or the heat. Perhaps the chip shops and the takeaways out there aren't much good. I don't really know. Now, he will pick up a contract in Europe, but it won't be worth £54 million. But for Jordan Henderson, ultimately, just money alone wasn't his driving factor. And he only found that out when he went there. Now, hey, have you heard of Ronald Reed from Vermont in the USA? Now, he worked at a petrol station and as a janitor pretty much all of his working life. He lived frugally, but he had a secret passion. In his spare time, he traded the stock market, and over the years, he got good at it. He never bought a big house or a big car or fancy watches or tattoos. He never went on any exotic holidays. When he died, though, in 2014, aged 92, he left £5 million. Sorry, it'd have been $5 million, wouldn't it? Because we're over there, aren't we? $5 million to his local library and his local hospital. His life was all about the things that were important to him. He was content. Even without his stock market profits, he had enough. Now, you can read about him on Wikipedia. Ronald Reed was his name. So where do we pitch our enough? What do we need to enjoy a happy retirement? And this is about experiences and hobbies and relationships, not just income. Do we want to use our retirement time to mentor grandchildren and try and steer them on the right path if they stray? Guide your adult children if they're having midlife crises? I know all this is difficult because other generations are wired differently to how we are. And it's funny, isn't it? Because that's how our parents and grandparents used to talk about us. Now, if we're concerned about income, what do we do with our money? Do you want to leave a legacy? Would you like to leave a sizable donation to your hospital, church or community? It's all part of the holistic plan. And this is relevant no matter where you live. The factors are just the same, whichever side of the Atlantic pond you live or anywhere else in the world where you hang your hat. Could you leave me a comment down below and tell me what you would like to do with your retirement and how you plan to live it and how much is your enough? And if you're liking the information on this channel, perhaps you could give us a like and a subscribe. Now, when we were younger and life was going well, we never thought much about retirement because it just wasn't important. It wasn't on the horizon. Take George. Now, that isn't his real name and this isn't his real picture. He's a lot uglier than that. But he does exist and he's struggling with his life. He's not happy with where he is right now and how life has given him an uppercut and a left hook when he wasn't expecting it. Because a few years ago, he was working with a maintenance company on a building site and making good money. Some of it was cash in hand, so he always had money jingling in his pockets, but he had no pension and no savings. What he did have was some bad habits, like nightclubs, and always with a fag in his hand and a gleam in his eye. Him and his wife weren't getting on too well, so he strayed a bit, and then she started seeing somewhere else as well. When COVID-19 came, and the company he worked for closed up and laid him off, the money soon dried up. He wasn't eligible for any significant benefits. He got a job with a pub and restaurant chain, but the hours were long and pay wasn't all that good. His divorce proceedings started and he moved out of the matrimonial house and he rented a flat. Now, last year, his tenancy finished and the landlord wouldn't renew. George is homeless, and in the worst possible way. Because he's not drug dependent or suicidal or disabled or alcoholic, the housing people won't help him. He's low priority. He's got a mate helping him out for now, but he doesn't know how long that's going to last, because mates don't always remain mates when you become a liability. He can't find a decent flat. You try finding a suitable place in London. In fact, try finding any place in London at a half-decent price. If he moves away, he won't be able to see his grandchildren. And if he goes drug dependent or alcoholic, then his vindictive wife and daughter will try and stop him seeing them anyway. He can't return to maintenance or factory work because his knees are giving him grief. He's 62 now, and all the years of hard graft have taken the toll on him. He's got some bad credit along the way from his bad habits and his divorce, so his borrowing ability is zero, particularly with no fixed abode as his address. He's trying to start a business online. He's got some good ideas, but he's struggling with time. Right now, he's staying in the spare room at his mate's, but that's only short term. He needs some suitable accommodation to get some space and time for himself. Now, today, his current evaluation of enough would be quite low. Now, there is light at the end of the tunnel for George. It's quite a way off yet, but I think he'll make it because he's motivated, and desperation is a very good motivator. If you need money for your retirement, don't wait until it's nearly too late. You can have a business up and running very quickly if you have the time and energy to learn the skills. If you are prepared to follow a plan from a successful mentor, and if you have the determination to succeed. And as you go, you can work out your own definition of enough and how it fits in with your life. Because just imagine an extra £500 a week or dollars or whatever currency you're working, or £1,000 a week, 10,000. The sky's the limit, if you can get it right. Take a look at my retirement plan blueprint and how you can start your own business. You'll find details in the description below. Starting a business does take ambition, but if you're struggling with the finances and the retirement looks bleaker than bleak house on a bleak Monday morning, then it could be a good option. With the plan I suggest, you can get a business up and running faster than you can say Jordan Henderson's travel agent. So take action today and start your holistic retirement plan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.